today's episode of Honest Reactions. Welcome to my podcast. My name is Jonathan, the host of the podcast Masculinity Uncovered. Today I'm going to be reacting to some videos, and the topic of today will be the male loneliness epidemic. I think it's a very broad topic, but I think there's a lot we can talk about it without getting too emotional. So let's get into it. I know the exact feeling. Two kinds of men do this specific situation. The ones that are either kind of accepted that life is just the way it is and they would rather enjoy their own time. So most of them are single, sometimes young, but many older people as well. Essentially, they're by themselves. They're completely comfortable with a very small place to live. They are very minimalist in the way they spend their money. Excuse me, clogged nose. And then there's the other men, the ones who have basically given up and they see no future in themselves in the world. So they kind of build their own virtual world, right? The games, the isolation. So whether that is a bad or a good thing, I mean, even if I say it's a bad thing, do you think people will care? The reality is most people won't care. Because you're men. It's just a fact of life.
Dude, men are fucking lonely, bro. People don't seem to understand that. 77% of suicides, men. Every 5 minutes, man commits suicide. Dude, like, who's gonna fucking step up and be like, yo, I got you guys? There's a couple guys, but obviously they're getting censored. Community is extremely important. People don't seem...
Andrew Tate is one who talks about this quite often. People do not like the truth. Society does not like the truth. And what people don't really realize is the following. When men give up, societies absolutely crumble. And if the future of men is disappearance from society, you're gonna have an issue with society. Believe me, this is no joke. Men need an incentive to continue society. We may bitch and complain about men should man up. If you give men no incentive, there's no point. Trust me. Men, deep down, when they notice there is no incentive, they just let go of everything. They lost everything. What's the point in losing more, you know? Hit rock bottom. Can't hit any further. It's a fucking pity, it really is. I mean, the veteran community struggles with suicides every single day. Most of the veteran community is men, but think about it. Those people thought that they were serving their country. I'm a vet, just so I make that clear. We all felt that we had a greater purpose in serving. But then you realized with all of this new information that is coming out about the war in Iraq, Afghanistan, and the Middle East, it was all fucking set up. Our brothers and some of our sisters, they died for the sake of fucking politicians. And Israel, for no fucking reason. I don't care who you are. If you're a veteran and you were sent out to the Middle East to so-called defend freedom, and you see your buddies blow up and they made the ultimate sacrifice. Or even sometimes death is peaceful. But what about all those people, all those vets who are injured, severe PTSD, can't walk, have no limbs, and then they come home to what they thought they were defending, freedom, only to realize later that it was all a fucking setup. You have no idea the absolute crushing sense of loss in their personal mind. It crushes the soul of men when they realized that they were duped. It's an instant, I'm completely empty and I don't know what to do anymore. I could go on a rant and get emotional about this, but the point of this is that there's definitely something going on in society that is not benefiting men at all. A lot of things that we're doing in society, no incentive for men. Men are losing grasp on reality because there is nothing to grab onto. And this is not an understatement. Take that to heart.
How do I have all these friends, right? But I still feel lonely all the time. Like, there's a lot of people that I call friends, and I'm pretty sure they'd call me friends too. I mean, some of them already have friends, a multitude of times, but like, all these friends, and yet I still feel lonely all the time. When I get home from school, none of them really talk to me. Like, my phone is always dry, and it's like, damn, I have all these friends, but like, my phone's still dry. It's like, no one really talks to me. You know, I mean, yeah, we still live. It's sad, but we still live. I'm gonna finish high school in a couple months.
Damn.
Forget all these people.
He's barely 18.
Move on. That's life.
Shit. At his age, he's already experienced what I just started experiencing. That is crazy. I'll explain something. So I used to live in a country called Equatorial Guinea. My parents were missionaries there. The kind of culture that I grew up in was 20 years older, right? I remember the culture because I lived in a time where I had to pay for every single text message that I sent and received. It was 50 francs CFAs, which I cannot remember the equation right now, but I lived in a time where you had to pay for every minute of the internet. I had to go to an internet cafe, pay for 30 minutes, and it was expensive, right? That was wild. But you know what's very interesting? People were close. I mean, we used to live on the second floor of this big building, right? We used to rent it. And underneath there was this like little station, right? Not station, but like an empty gap where every night I would gather with my friends until late hours of the night. And we would sit down there and talk like there was no tomorrow. Every night. We had phones, but they weren't smartphones. Internet was so crap that there was no point in trying to use the internet, right? I can single-handedly tell you right now, the one cause that has made people lonely, men in particular, is the internet. Because men, even though I like to admit we're not social creatures, we become extremely socially crushed in a way when we don't have other men around us. And it has to be specifically men, right? Man, and comparing that to now, I mean, I don't talk to a lot of people, unfortunately. I used to have a lot of friends when I was in high school. Good people, really. But most of them are nowhere to be found. I still maintain contact with only 2 people. 2. Of a class of 50. In fact, 2 classes of 50, so total about 100, because I had to repeat high school. That is crazy. That is absolutely crazy. And what's perplexing about this is that men, they kind of push, right? They kind of push through the pain. Many times they don't explain to people because more often than not, they have explained that pain to someone and that person used it against them, so they stopped talking about it. And they simply pushed until they reach a breaking point where they either can't handle it anymore or nothing really matters, so they choose the path of self-deletion. It's absolutely terrible. And the difficult part about this conversation, I don't think there's a solution except find one person that you can talk to. Just one. And yes, I understand the importance, as it says here, if Jesus loves you, Christ is absolutely important, don't get me wrong. But they need someone to talk to on a daily basis, right? This is not good. Trust me. I hate to admit it, but it's not good at all. God bless you, brother.
I'll just kill you. And if you're ever reborn again as a new curse, I'll kill you then too. Change.
Get out of here.
Surefire cure for the male loneliness epidemic is connection, true connection with other men. I'm not talking about more male friendships. I'm talking about better male friendships. Like, we all have dudes that we know that we can get together and talk about sports or video games or women or whatever, and then you spend a chunk of time with them and then you go home. But did you actually get to know them? Do they actually know you? Were you actually opening up at all? Or honestly being a person that they would want to open up to as well? There was a time in my life not that long ago where I kind of woke up and realized I knew a lot of dudes, but I didn't know them really that well or that deeply. And they certainly didn't know me. I was terrified to open up, really deep down. I was like, what if they see me, make fun of me? What if I'm open and vulnerable and honest about some things that I'm going through or worried about? And they, do the sort of metaphorical nut tap that men often do because we don't know how to hold.
Yeah, I mean, he's probably going on a rant of trying to find someone who you can have a serious conversation with, and they're very rare. They really are. But same point. Men. Of course. Look, lady, if you ever watched this video, I am going to grant you the fact that your argument is completely valid. But you have to understand, most men don't have the chance to have peace before they even betray their significant other. And the reason I say this is most men are struggling each day to even understand what's going on. They're stuck in limbo because they don't even know what they're going to do tomorrow, let alone they're thinking about betraying their significant other. That's crazy. So if a man is thinking about betraying, that's because there is either a lack, hear me out very carefully, a lack of sexual access to his own wife. Sounds crazy. Or there was serious reason why he felt that there was no reason to be here anymore. And then there's a third option, the ones that are absolute scumbags and will betray their family. Totally acceptable. But you have to understand, most men don't have that chance. Most men are the type of people who they understand. I'm talking about the people who have serious committed relationships with children. They wouldn't think about betraying because they don't have the time for it. They don't have the energy for it. But there's also those men who don't have time and no energy, who also get no affection from their wives, regardless of what they do. I know plenty of them, first-hand experience. And then people are surprised that they go betray on their women, and they call him, "How could you? How dare you? You're deadbeat. You wanted to cheat." No, you didn't want to. You didn't have peace. You caused him nothing but headaches and troubles. He provided for you. You gave him excuses. He told you his pain. You gaslit to say it's your pain. So everything that he felt, because if we're talking about feelings, anything's valid, right? Everything that he felt, he used it against him. He opened to you saying, "Hey, this is what I need from you. And if you can do these things, I'll be perfectly happy." And he told you that many times. And originally you might have said, "Yeah, I understand, baby." But yeah, you did nothing about it. Even though he told you and repeatedly told you exactly what he needs. And there were simple things. It's not like he's asking you to fucking build a house, right? It's like sex. Cook for me. Massage once in a while. Kiss me when I walk through the front door. Simple things. Appreciate him. Tell him how much you appreciate what he's doing, how much you love him. But no, that was too difficult. But what do you require as a woman? Long talks. Sit with me on the couch. Spend time with me. Make sure that we go on dates. You see, what's funny is, it's not men who want to actively go on dates. It's the women. And if we had to put it in time's perspective, like how much wasting time, a date takes time. A kiss is 2 seconds. So don't get me started. Sex, if you really want to make it about a time issue, 5 minutes. It will finish sooner than you can think about it. Done. Second problem done. Food. If you can prepare this stuff 2 hours before in a slow cooker, which is the most fucking easy shit to do, and you just serve it to him and you microwave it later, or you keep it on the warm temperature in the slow cooker for 2 hours later, boom, he has ready-made food. No issues. Easy fucking deal. But no, that's too difficult. So you have to understand that regardless of the problems that you personally are explaining here, most men don't have the chance. I'm talking about most men in relationships, not the single guys, because that's a different story. Most committed men don't have the chance to betray because they have all these things missing. And the people who are missing and betray, you know exactly why they did that. And you will still won't understand why they did it, even though they just explained it to you. The world is messy. The reason marriage was put in place and the prescription, and think of St. Paul, marriage under God, right? Was because one of the apostles knew exactly why. That if men are fulfilled, they will move heaven and earth to make sure everything is fine. But you stopped fulfilling your duties in marriage as a woman and as his wife. You will get a resentful man. And then you say, why are you resentful? Is it point in talking about the resentment? Are you going to change it completely? No, right? So why would he talk about it? Is this a joke? So anyway, moving on. We're talking about loneliness. I mean, here's a fucking idiot. When they have it all, they take advantage of it. What the fuck does that even mean? Most men don't have it all. Are those people, there some people who have it all and betray? Sure. I don't know any of them. Literally, I don't know nobody. The one thing I've realized is that sometimes when women say these things, I don't think they correlate with society. So I don't understand what the point is, right? It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. But anyway, enough of my rant for today. Thank you for joining. And I appreciate your time. I wish you all the best. Please find Christ and always pray. There's always better days in the future. Have a great one. Bye now.